Are you ready?
We are.
Okay,
There you go.
thanks, Evan. Good evening. Welcome to the Community Engagement Commission meeting, Wednesday, August 14th, 2024. I'd like to call to order. Roll call, Commissioners, Aaron Asmuth. Here. Summer Darrow. Here. Bill Norman.
Here.
Mark Saba.
Here.
And for the time being, I'd like to ask that Arlene Fisher-Marr and Cynthia Gamboni be excused.
I make a motion, we excuse Arlene and Cynthia until they're here.
Second,
I'll second it.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And are there any opposed? Thank you. Approvals of the agenda tonight.
If there's no addition or subtractions of the agenda, current agenda, I make a motion that we approve the agenda as written.
Okay, second,
I'll second that.
all in favor,
Aye.
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 any opposed? Motion carries, agenda approved. Minutes of July 17th, 2024.
Again, I will make a motion to approve the minutes as written from the last meeting.
Second,
I'll second.
all in favor,
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
any opposed? Thank you. Are there any public comments, either online or out in the audience?
We got a full house here, so.
Okay, thank you. City Hall updates, David says see handout.
I don't know if I have any updates, anything to add on this other than I will say, and maybe Robin will speak to this too later in a bit. We're having a nice response on the library survey, both. Well, certainly the one that's online, but as well as the handout written ones that are also being logged in. The last I looked, which was yesterday morning, and this included the handwritten ones, which Jandy had logged in. We had about 120 responses on the library survey. Right
Nice.
now, the Barefoot,
Really good.
the park feedback, post-event survey, satisfaction survey. We got about 36 responses on that. And I would say to any of you who went, your responses are valid too. If you wanted to chime in with your feedback, feel free to do so. Your opinions matter as well. Just because you were there in some sort of official capacity doesn't mean we don't care about what you had to say about the whole event. So,
Was that barefoot in the park?
yeah, is that what I said?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure.
Oh, I
and
thought you were
clarify.
saying the
I-
library thing.
Yeah, I had moved on to the Barefoot survey.
Or, okay, and I thought it was the customer satisfaction thing, so,
Yeah, we're not, not the early.
so I was really, okay,
Customer satisfaction for Barefoot.
okay. Cool. That's encouraging on the numbers for the library.
You're going to be seeing that landing page and expand. This, like I said, this was the first time we've had 3 items or more than 1 item at a time to put on there. And we're also going to be having not engagement related items on there, but just updates on city projects. We've got one in development on there. Again, that won't be survey or open forum related.
Just more info
Yeah.
type of thing.
Timeline of what certain projects are that are coming up, and
Cool.
people can come take a look at that. And
I think it's great.
Yep.
yeah,
that's good.
in the past, we've only had one thing at a time, like the satisfaction survey on the cops, cars and cruisers thing last September, or what did you think of your favorite events at Winter Glow, which got a lot of views, by the way, last December. Each of those was one at a time. Now we're able to do a little bit of cross-pollinating, I think. And I believe that we actually had a couple of people respond to the city budget discussion forum because of the library survey, which went up the same day that 2 new posts came up on the discussion forum. That's what that thing is organized for in that format, to get people to respond to more than one thing once they see another opportunity out there.
Excellent. It's great feedback. It's great feedback on the library because we really that's not been open for too long. So I hope everybody here on the commission has got a chance to look at it and will take that survey. Okay, any other comments? If not, Mark, comments on Barefoot in the Park?
Yeah, I got it here. Kind of just give you all a recap of Barefoot in the Park. Attendance was down from last year. And the reason is we don't know. We're just, assuming, smoke in the air could have been it. The threat of rain could have been it. Could have been a number of things. I was at the concert that night and a couple walked by our golf cart. That's another reason to get a golf cart. You can sit up and watch people. Bill. But and they made the comment that, yeah, the reason it was down because of Art on the Green, which is in Coeur d'Alene. Well, we compete against that every year. And last year we blew the socks off with attendance. So that's something that we're going to be addressing in a couple of weeks when we have our debriefing meeting, how we can, improve, to kind of do some soul searching and finding out, what exactly, why attendance was down and see if we can improve for next year. We did, believe it or not, we did give out at the city booth, we did give out 527 wristbands. So
Wow.
there was well attended by kids. The car show, we had 69 cars, which I believe was a success. And the reason I say that, Dennis would disagree with me, but that's okay. He's the one that runs a car show. There was 7 other car shows that day.
Mhm.
And for us to get 69 in our little car show, I think that was pretty awesome. I thought it was very successful. The food trucks there were very well received by people that, they loved the food. The fact that the Kiwanis had something for kids this year was a positive. Last year, there was nothing there for kids. So the Kiwanis opened up their snack shack and offered up hot dogs and dropped nachos and everything. That was a great success. There was an issue with the jump choice. That could have had another reason why attendance might have seemed like it was down. The company that did the inflatables, they had 3 of them that broke down that they had to get repaired. They had a gentleman that got injured. So there were a couple people down. They finally got 2 of them up and running by 1:30, 2 o'clock. Luckily, the city had, we had purchased some in the past. Luckily, ours were up and they were running, so they did keep, kids entertained. The city is going to go back and get a refund, request a refund from this company. And the suggestion was possibly to go out and buy more for the city. So we got more to offer for next year. But that's still in the talking stages. I think the most popular item there was Bill Sahlberg's The Train. He had a train, and it's out of his golf cart. He got there at 10 o'clock, and he was there till 4. And I mean, he was constantly going forever. I mean, the kids loved it, and he made himself a little track throughout. We had him going around the infield of the baseball. He said, "Nah, I'm going to do this." So he made up his own, and it worked out great. It was awesome. It was very successful. I can't say so much about the golf cart parade. We had a parade of 3. The 3 of us did have fun, though. We had a good time, but we tried it. We tried it for 3 years now. And the thing that really blew my mind was this year we actually advertised it. I gave out the flyers that David made. I gave them out at the community parade. Well, you saw them, Summy, and everybody. And I thought it was very well received. We ended up with 3. Last year we had 7. The year before we had 5. So the year I advertise it heavily, we get less. So we tried. So I don't think it's going to be on the agenda next year. The dunk bucket that was run by the Ridgeline High School dance team. They raised over $1,000. I was totally shocked. Last year the band raised $1,600. And the reason why I was shocked, I wasn't expecting to make $500-600 because attendance being down. But no, they made $1,007. So, you know, that was awesome. I was tickled. They were tickled to death. So was I. Entertainment. The entertainment from in the morning was very well received. It was all, you know, all different kinds. We had everything from Taekwondo. We had the only thing that was kind of disappointing was that the snake and bug guy caught COVID the night before, day before. And that was we had a huge audience ready to watch that guy.
Yes.
And so it was unfortunate, you know, something that was uncontrollable. So, hopefully next year we get him back. So, but you know, most of the entertainment was very well received. I thought so. Now the entertainment in the evening, oh, wait, let me mention the beer garden. The beer garden, they sold over 200 tokens. So they made $1,200 or whatever, the Kiwanis, whatever they sell, you know. And they were, you know, I talked to the president of Kiwanis today, had coffee with him, and Tim said, yeah, we were very happy with the attendance of the beer garden. They had two entertaining bands there. The first band that was up was, they were called Super Imposed. Thank you, David. They were awesome. I talked to Tim today. When I talked to him today, I said, you got to get them for 4th of July. I mean, they were spunky. They, you know, every song, you know, people knew what they sang. They sang everything from the 60s to the 90s. You know, when she got up there and says, yeah, this song was sung by Pink. And who's that? You know, but you know, the kids knew it. So they were very entertaining. So hopefully we get them for 4th of July. The other band, What About Bob? Karen and I left halfway through it because it looked like they were there to, you know, do a job. They were, you know, in between songs, it was like a minute, you know, and they weren't talking to the crowd or anything. So they wasn't, you know, but, you know, overall, you know, we're going to have Barefoot next year. I think it was, you know, for what we had, I think it was fun. I had a good time. Yeah. I hope, you know, you all that were there had a good time too. So
Good.
yeah, it was fun.
It was fun. One of the things I would suggest, Mark, the one thing I noticed at our table that was a real hit was the Scope people were there and they gave out free bike helmets.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't that awesome?
And that got the most amount of attention, and they gave out the free little pins for junior deputy. And so, you know, I would encourage them to come back, and I know that they were trying to get the Kiwanis to help to contribute some money to get some bike helmets. So maybe you can, you know, when you have your debriefing,
Sure.
talk about that.
Yeah, I can bring that up.
Okay.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
should be
yeah.
one of the most
Bill
popular.
said that was right.
Yeah, it should be, you know, free bike helmets.
Mhm.
Holy manoli.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome.
So that
Yeah.
would just be my comment.
I will do that.
And the Post-it notes, asking about, what you'd like at the playground, you
Mhm.
know. I thought that was, I mean, I was there for my shift plus a little bit of the one before. I was there for a while, and very few people shied away from answering that question.
Good.
Very few people were disinterested, honestly. I mean, the people who had their other agendas, sure, but for the most part, people wanted to say and get engaged with what they thought should be at the playground. From the
Awesome.
crazy, you know, everyone wants a swimming pool at the playground, but there was, you know, there was funny ideas. There was like, you know, monkey bars, but you get a prize at the end, you know, and like, you know, pony rides. But there were things like, you know, there were just things like monkey bars, things like bigger slide, old things for older kids, a bunch of zip line stuff. I mean, really useful feedback
Yeah,
from
shade
kids and
and
parents.
benches.
Shade, lots
Oh,
of shade stuff.
That's good.
Good point.
There, I mean, there was a million achievable things within that, but it was really nice to see people like eagerly, oh, can I write another one? You know? And I think a lot of that was probably twofold. I mean, one, it was kids, right? And the kids have ideas for things like that. It's practical. It's right there. They're looking at it. They're playing with it. But also it was where we were, right? What would you like to change about this place that clearly you've been to before and you're going to come to again? So I don't know, I think that was super successful and it was really fun to participate in.
I'll definitely bring that up too. Thank you.
I just,
Go.
along that line, it also drew my attention, just the level of interest there was, and it reminds me that you see people in our parks.
I gotta
They're
tell you,
used.
I gotta
Yeah.
tell you, Bill, when we're, Orchard Park is
Yeah.
used so much, and I'm talking, we're out there setting winter glow up in November. And there's people out there
Yeah.
using, I mean, it's freaking cold outside, but they still have, I mean, that park is used every day. Unbelievable, unbelievable.
I agree. Okay, thanks.
I
That was a great.
want to echo
update.
something Mark said, and I'm not the type of person who will reveal any of the findings of a survey that's in progress. By the way, feel free to fill out the barefoot survey by this weekend. But I will agree that the golf cart train was very highly popular.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
My kid squeezed in with another kid just to get a ride, yeah.
Yes, Bill and Tom did a great job, and Joe, they all did a great job.
That was, yeah, it was a good day.
Yeah. We'll definitely have him back next year.
That's great. I hope so. Okay, let's go on update on public engagement for library design and construction project. That's me. So I think if anybody doesn't know, we are going to build a new library, and so the month of August is being spent for outreach on that. And thank you to Mark and Bill for helping me this Saturday and getting some of the questions. There's a survey that's online. And so I would encourage everybody to take it online. If you don't, you can go down to the library and they have hard copies. Now, also, in addition to the survey, every week there's a different question. So if you see this last weekend, it was, how many books would you like to see at the new library? More, the same, or less? And this week, I'll just pass it around, or this is the question for this week. And we get quite a few responses. I mean, I was surprised, and so was Jandy, when I gave her the results and the photo of how many people put the dots up there.
Oh, yeah,
It's
we
just-
ran out of dots, right, Bill?
We did.
We had to start, I took
Start
that
over.
picture for you. We started all over.
There was actually, and I should have showed you, I thought, oh, I bet there was actually another box of dots, but I have
That's
them,
okay, it worked, good.
but it worked.
This is for,
The library.
no, but at, farmer's market.
Yeah, and
Oh,
that's
okay.
for this Saturday's question. And so,
Are
You
you,
know,
are you doing this also
I
online?
think they're at the library too, right?
yeah, it's at the library and
Um,
farmer's
it's
market.
Set up in a way for
Like a Facebook?
us to do it. I think Janny's intent was to have it be just farmer's market and library.
Okay.
She specified that at the meeting. we
Well, I
had.
think I talked to the administrator on the Friends of the Library Facebook, and she is putting it on Facebook. Because I'm
Oh,
checking.
there
it.
you go.
Well,
Okay.
I'll look
That
at
answers
it.
your question.
So,
Which it just needs to be cross-shared, because if they're sharing it only to that pool, and it's either not getting pulled into the actual library Facebook page or to city Facebook page, their reach is probably really narrow.
probably.
And so
Yeah.
that's one of the things. And then I have one other thing I want to ask, and then, but you go ahead with your update. And I'll ask my
No,
question
that
later.
was, I pretty much concluded my update.
So a question for the folks at the library is, because I looked through my email to see if I missed anything. Have they not sent out an email to everyone in their database yet? Because if they haven't, they sure should, because I haven't gotten an email, and I'm a library card holder. I got my notice that my library card's about to expire, so I need to go renew it.
I renewed mine.
I need to go renew mine. Been gone for a month. But if they haven't sent one out through their database, I mean, and we only have another, what, 2.5 weeks to collect
Yes.
responses.
Yeah.
I mean, they sure should. I mean, those are the people that physically go there and would have the most active voice. So
I put
but
that question, I'm gonna
Yeah, I
ask
think the
Jan.
president of Friends of the Library should be able to take care of that.
I think the
Yes.
piece of advice I would give them in their crafting of that message is very few words, very simple message. Like, I mean, yeah, would you rather? I mean,
Yeah.
because I think if they try and go into a long email dissertation about
People. stop
what the
reading.
project is and what it's gonna do and the timeline and all these things, people are gonna glaze over it. They're not even gonna look at
Yeah.
it. It should be like 3 lines.
Short and sweet.
You know, hey, library card holder, do you want to help shape what the new library looks like? Awesome. Take our survey. That's
There you
it.
go. That's
But I mean,
it.
it should be super simple just to
perfect.
drive them back to the landing page so that people can engage in that survey. But I mean,
And-
that's a huge captive audience that if they haven't reached out to, the second one is we're already starting to get emails from the school. So the schools are starting to push emails out about registration and all the other junk that's going on.
That's a
And
good
don't
idea.
forget, have they contacted the schools to say, hey, can you include a quick link to, you know, for the elementary schools, the middle school, and even Ridgeline, you know, can you include a survey to parents saying, hey, we're doing a new library in Liberty Lake. Would you please be willing to share that same message? Because those are 2 captive audiences that are likely to use those resources in some way, shape, or form.
Okay, yeah,
Aaron, are you saying that the library card holders have not received an email on the 12-question survey?
Not that I've seen.
Okay, I'll call Jandy on that tomorrow.
I mean, if it's gone out and I didn't get it, then maybe that's a system, either a system problem or an errand problem. And it's okay if it's an errand problem, but I would just say, hey, if we're gonna push it out, like if they haven't pushed it out, they definitely should. I mean,
Since I know Aaron, I don't think it's an Aaron problem.
it totally could be considering where my brain is at right now.
well, I think
but-
that's a good point, you know, because I'm a library card holder and I didn't receive it in my email neither, so I think that that's a good
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
And I know that Jandy put it on the library Facebook,
Mhm.
Yeah, and
But-
I think it's just trying to make sure like,
but we need to hit more points.
yeah, and Facebook's like we all know, Facebook is great and terrible at the same time. And
It
it's
is.
not like, so I just grabbed your post, the city's post about the survey and then reshared it to my page. But if,
The library one?
yeah, the library one, but if people don't do that, it's not reaching anybody. So like, at least now it's reaching, you know, my pocket of friends who haven't ignored me on Facebook.
Or the algorithm hasn't ignored
Or
you.
the algorithm hasn't ignored, right?
Yeah.
So, but it's like, it's those little things that's like,
Yeah.
gotta be a snowball, like just posting it to their own Facebook page. I mean, I'm sure they can look at the analytics, but my guess is their reach is maybe 100 people.
Probably.
Which,
just-
I mean,
yeah,
it just is what it
but
is,
it
but
is,
it's like,
yeah.
the more it's reshared, the more it's reposted, the higher it's gonna pull into the feed. And I mean, so it's those types of things where it's gotta be that layered approach when we're doing that, when we're trying to push out that kind of message. So,
Okay.
yeah, the more we can do that cross sharing, the better. So even if
Okay.
she can reshare that post again and like people on the committee can like tag it and like it, or the city can say, hey, don't forget, here's what they said. You know, it's like, it's all those little things. The city council members, I mean, heck, they should be doing the same kind of stuff because the more they're doing it, engaging the citizens, it can't just be us as a commission. I mean, the city council members should also be doing this kind of stuff. It's a service to the city. They want a good set of responses that's meaningful and valid statistically. There's what, 8 council members? I mean, heck, why can't they could easily do that. And they all have a huge reach. I guarantee you, everybody in the city in some way, shape, or form is a friend of one of those
Okay.
online from a social standpoint.
So David, can you and I maybe work together on that and see how we can expand that reach? I like
Yeah.
Aaron's ideas.
Well, I've,
Yeah.
I've got the library one scheduled for a midpoint reminder. I guess probably tomorrow.
And
And I
that's
will
perfect.
also add, share this out, because you were totally right. This,
Yeah.
people who take the survey should share it out to their,
And that's the point of the Zen City thing, is like when you get to the end of it, there should be that share button.
Yeah.
Right, and so how do they go from completing it to sharing it on on a social platform in some way, shape, or form? You know, so the more we can do that, the better. But I mean, the council members are a great audience to saying, hey, you know, they want as much information on this as everybody else. I mean, this is a huge deal. You know, the fact
It's-
that
it's
it's gonna
huge.
be a new library, they're gonna renovate a building to do something right for the city for how many decades to come? right? That's the goal of it. Well, how do you make it the best possible? You get as many people engaged. Well, the only way you can do that is have a lot of people pushing and prodding and getting the message out there. You know, 5 of us sitting in the room can only do so much.
No, that's true. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're trying to, we believe in the library, but it takes more, and I like those ideas. I wrote them down, but we need to get that out there, and you're right. City council needs to get it on their Facebook page too, and
Yeah, you're under the gun because you only got about 2.5 weeks.
I mean,
That-
worst
that-
case,
that's
you
right.
can extend it a week. I mean, it's not the end of the world to push the survey out a couple of days if we really wanted to see if we get some more responses, but I mean, I think there's enough time. It's just a matter of getting the message out. Because in all reality, like if they send out an email communication on the survey, you know, I would do it on a Friday. I wouldn't do it on a Monday. And
okay,
uh,
Friday.
or towards the end of the week. I wouldn't do it on a Monday. Nobody looks at their stuff on Monday because they're going back to work. But you push out that message, you're gonna get 80% of your responses within the first couple of days.
Okay,
And
yeah.
then it's gonna go dark, and that's okay, but at least you know you've got an initial push out, and then they could do another final push on, 3 days out from the survey closing. You know, the library should do another push saying, hey, survey closes in 3 days. If you haven't responded already, please do. If you have, share this with your friends or family members to tell us how we can make this better. Yeah.
Okay,
I would also say on a personal note, I've been to the library recently, and it'd be a great opportunity to just physically tell people as they're checking out books that
Mhm.
this exists. Because I didn't have that experience. I didn't have, hey, have you taken this yet? Or anything about that, or things like this, specific geared towards the kids or anything
We're
like
checking
that.
out.
So I just think that would be, again, those are the people who are actually involved. They're actually at the library. And I just think it'd be great to actually hear from somebody.
Have them
there.
print it on a bookmark. I mean, they hand out free bookmarks all the time. They printed bookmarks on just simple pieces of paper
Yep.
and everybody hates. Scan the QR code.
I actually.
Take our
they-
survey.
They actually do have, and maybe at that time, maybe someone didn't, but I know that I've seen, because I have to go up there and get handouts all the time, and they have a handout with the QR code, and then they also have the paper. So I know that they have that.
I just,
Yeah.
I'm just speaking to
checkout.
the, I'm
They did
speaking
it.
to the
Verbal
verbal
communication.
communication of it. Because if I go to Petco and they say, have you taken the survey, you could win $50 like off your thing or whatever. We're having that moment. I can disregard it or not, but I think about the library, I think I would actually,
Yeah.
I would actually listen to them.
Yeah. The challenge is the people that go to the self-checkout side. I mean, you lose
But for
those.
every,
But
for every
everybody
time
else,
that they don't or
thank you.
ask a question, it's a great opportunity. I'm just
That's
putting it
fine.
out. I still
agree.
kind of feel like the more of those we can do too, because this is a real word of mouth thing and this is just so wonderful.
Yeah, I think that
You
little,
can't- I
that's
mean,
really
You
cool.
can't deny
Is
that
the-
that's.
Yeah, so I'll be out there, or someone will be out there. I have a Friends of the Library person that's gonna help too.
Does the library have the sign and or the printed surveys at the checkout desk right now?
Yes,
Okay.
they do have both. To my understanding, that they do try and give those out to people, but I don't know how active everybody is, they're not.
Great.
So
Well,
I
they're
did,
excited
Survey, get a
if
free
they're-
checkout.
If they're excited for a new library, which every library employee should be excited, you would think they'd be talking it up.
Mhm.
and
Just my,
You would hope, yeah.
You would hope they
Yeah.
would be talking it up, yeah.
yeah, and I'm probably thinking that they are, but fortunately, or you didn't experience that, so maybe I need to, or,
I just think it'd be a good opportunity to engage with people.
Yep.
yeah. So I did go, I contacted the Lions Club, and president did distribute it to his group. I went to the Rotary on Tuesday and did a presentation and provided them the hard copies of the QR code. And since the Rotary had some business people there, they're gonna put it on their public non-bulletin that so the rest of the employees can access it. And then I also talked with another person that's also on the Kiwanis Club Tim Olson, he's also Friends of the Library, and he distributed it out to the Kiwanis. So we're working as hard as we can until the end of the month because that's when it's going to close. And I asked Jandy and I said, what would the results you'd like to see? And she said, well, it'd be just great to get 300, but it'd be really exciting to get 600. Said, okay, that's,
Well, you're at over 100 right now. There's no reason why you can't reach 3, you
that
know?
is true.
And especially if you go with the
With-
suggestions
With what,
that
yeah.
have just been thrown out here, you should be able to hit 6.
mhm.
Yeah.
So.
And
Ooh,
keep,
we
and I
keep that.
think it's helpful if we keep, or if the city can keep reposting it, because as in Facebook, something gets posted, then it just sort of filters down and other stuff overtakes it. Keep reposting it and reposting it.
Okay.
Do we have-
Okay.
Do we have something pinned on the community page, on the community Facebook page? Like a post pinned?
We don't at the moment unless you've seen one that I forgot about.
No, I was just curious if we had something pinned
Not
right
yet.
next. Seems like a candidate for it.
Update and suggestions for the city council September 10th town hall on proposed Transparency Act, Bill and Summer.
So I've counted these out in groups of 8. And if you just would take one
Instead of 8?
and pass it on around, they're just 4, so it's for Mark and Aaron and us.
Oh, wait, do I have?
Our ask of each of you is that starting with these 8, that each one of them be in the hands of a different person in the near term. We will be doing a mailing that will look very much like this. I think the size is a little different.
Half an inch wider.
There you go. And it's going to go out to, I believe, 4,600 households. Do you remember the timing on that, David?
Probably going to be around 2 weeks ahead of the event.
Okay, that's. So we will be doing a mailing, but as many people, the act of you handing them this, along with your personal invitation for their attendance, will be really powerful.
Okay.
And if you do hand out 8 of them and want to hand out 8 more, you can get them from David.
Okay.
Okay.
What, will you have these available for the farmer's market also?
Yes,
Perfect.
absolutely.
That's what I was just gonna say, yeah.
Mhm. We also have a
Perfect.
small poster that we'll be putting up on one of the pillars in the farmer's market. Again, it'll have this
Good.
look and feel.
Who is doing farmer's market this Saturday?
Well, I'll be there,
Okay, I can
and
give you-
because I'm gonna set it up and, so, and also I have a Friends of the Library person that will be,
I've got a stack in my office.
Hey, David.
not unless somebody else wants to.
Say, I just did the library survey. At the end of it, there's no share link. It just says, do you want to stay informed? So you can click to stay informed with updates, but there's no link or button to say share with friends on the survey.
Okay.
So if that's
share with
missing on that
friends.
one, I bet it's missing on the others. I don't remember it on the giant one I took. It's probably just one of those back end buttons that just has to be enabled. Cause I know it was there when we did the demo.
Mhm.
Anyway, yeah.
And there's not a lot more to report. This is happening. You've got the detail of what the schedule is here. And we're feeling good about that, but we will also be inviting people when they leave to, we'll give them, I don't know whether it's going to be a QR code at this point, but the opportunity to get feedback about the experience that they had that evening. So we hope to be able to open the deck so that we have additional space. We're expecting, our target is to have about 100 people there, which we think would be wonderful. We are open to the idea that we could have thousands. And that would be a happy problem that we'd have to resolve at a future date. But we're gonna be at Trailhead, we've got whatever space limitations are there. We will have a hiatus or a transition between this, the conversations that we want to engender during this meet and greet period to set up chairs so that we have the right environment for the give and take of the town hall meeting. We are asking the, as you see here, the Zoning and Planning Commission, the Community Engagement Commission, the Arts and Art, and the Library Board to be represented by 2 people. And we will provide space for them during this conversation to be available to explain to people what their work is and who the current participants are, and in our case, for example, to promote the fact that we have 2 vacancies that we're very interested in filling. And for people who are interested, we'll help them know how to do that. Then the town hall will be a moderated discussion. We're going to focus on the Transparency Act. And at the conclusion, we will have an opportunity, it probably will be brief, for some just off-script questions from the people who are there. So that's the evening. And it's, Sarah and I are really excited about it. We think that this is going to be a really solid inaugural event.
So, okay.
I got, oh,
Oh,
go ahead.
No, rock, paper, scissors.
yeah. Are the other commissions also doing the
Yes, they
same?
are.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Okay.
they'll each have contact from the staff member that liaises with them.
Good, good, good. Okay, okay, because it was just us and.
No, no,
No.
Good, perfect, perfect,
no,
perfect,
no.
perfect.
In fact, we do still want to get these in the hands of the civic organizations, and so we're talking the Rotary and
Lions
Columbus
and
Gotcha,
Lions, yeah.
gotcha.
charcuterie
Charcuterie.
and like little sandwiches and little actual.
it's gonna be
actual
big
yeah.
sandwiches.
Oh, really? Like those
boards with
little-
Brit, yeah, little caprese sandwiches,
Yeah.
yeah. So we have a
Yeah,
like actual, maybe some Fresca. I heard rumor of some Fresca. I'm
Oh
not-
my
Yeah.
gosh.
We're not
now
sure
we're
though.
going all-
I know, I can't believe if
We're
we
not
actually
sure.
get Fresca.
Not in stone, but we're
Some
excited.
bronze. Yeah. Okay, so question for you. So, just so I'm clear as I'm handing these out, because I've been gone for a month, so I've missed a couple of things.
Well, welcome back.
Welcome back.
Yeah, so has the city council, do they have a draft that they're working on? Or is this conversation literally just a conversation about transparency?
It is that.
Okay, so
it
there's just, what do residents think about transparency and listening to the,
There will be
There
some
may be some-
specific talking points.
right, yeah, I'm assuming there's gonna be.
And
some-
Mark
yeah,
McAvoy is moderating
he'll
this in
moderate.
in normal
But
fashion.
But this, it was, this is not a presentation.
Right, okay,
Or- Yeah.
this is
Just a-
Town hall.
council
open
members,
forum.
so Mark
Yeah.
is guiding the conversation, city
And there'll
council
be some
members there.
context.
They're gonna,
Yeah.
he's gonna probably ask some questions of the council members to explain, then open it up for audience, that kind of a thing.
Yep, and we're
Okay.
having pictures of the city council, like either up on a
Yeah.
screen or whatever before during the meet and greet. So people are hopefully really starting to talk to people openly within that time frame, and then have a more structured
Conversation.
conversation.
Okay, that
And then opening it up more at the end too, a little bit.
okay,
We are going to be very interested in receiving feedback from the city council about the experience they have during the meet and greet part.
Mhm.
How were the conversations, were they engaging? What kind of questions did people have?
Okay.
Because we think there's a possibility that we'll find equal value in
Mhm.
just that.
yeah. Have we considered doing 2 sets of surveys? So a survey to the city council members and so like a post-event survey to them as far as gathering feedback, so that they can, do what they're gonna do with it, and then to the people that show up, giving people something.
We've talked about that. We have concluded that we don't want to. I don't want to dismiss this. we don't want to collect the information from the people who come, leaving them with the feeling that we're doing. We want them to really believe that we're just here to hear from them. We're going to give them the option of giving feedback, but we're not going to have enough information to be able to push.
Oh, that makes sense.
Survey.
Yeah,
to
yeah,
them.
yeah, yeah, that makes sense. So it's kind of more, yeah,
It's
I-
going to
yeah.
be more voluntary.
yeah, and that's what I'm saying,
Yeah.
like, just more so like, hey, if you want to send us some additional stuff, here's a way
Yes,
to be able
because
to
we
do
want to
that.
do more of these. How
Right.
would
Yep.
you like to see it in the future?
Yeah, no, that
we
makes
will.
sense. That makes sense. Okay. Cool.
Good to go.
Will this be videotaped?
It's going to be recorded, yes.
Yes.
So not
thank you,
streamed, but
because-
recorded.
What?
Not live, though.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
For some of us that unfortunately is out of town that week,
Yes.
I would like, that's great. Thank you.
I want to add to one thing Bill said, even though we're having two representatives from each commission / board at each table during that first hour, all of you are invited to attend. There's no quorum issues with
As
this.
citizens.
citizens.
You're not doing official business.
Yeah, we're just,
You're not
we're just
making
standing at the
decisions.
table. You guys can,
But all of
Please
you can
come.
show up and listen and
Save us.
speak, et cetera.
come and eat food and talk to people.
I'm
Yeah.
thinking of you.
Good, yeah, good, yeah, no quorum issues.
Yeah, no, you just wear a citizen hat.
Got it.
I think
You
that's
can wear a
great.
Zoom-
You guys have worked
a
so
Zoom
hard.
hat.
A recorded
Thank you,
citizen.
Zoom.
One of those
Not a
Frisian
Zoom.
French. hats.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Citizen.
You guys have worked hard. This is great.
And we're
Yeah,
excited.
that's awesome.
That,
And I hope this is the beginning of lots of these types of
Yeah.
things
Yeah.
for us.
Fun.
I do too. I do too. So D, group discussion on August 7th workshop with the planning commission. And what I'd like us to do when we do this discussion is let's give some background and context to, so that it helps Aaron. Because I think that you weren't there, Aaron. Did you get to see the video at all?
Nope.
Okay, so that's sort of what I thought. So we start
I
talking about.
literally flew back on Thursday.
Oh
I've
my
been- I have
goodness.
Not been
And-
home
and-
for 3 weeks.
And that's
so-
not, yeah, and I don't want to put you, I was just saying,
Watch us at like 2 a.m.
Which Olympic event were you competing in?
yeah,
Okay, what,
so let's,
this is what I'm thinking. This is my thought.
okay,
Why don't we table this until the next meeting?
Wait, which one?
Give him an opportunity and whoever else to watch the video. That way we don't have to go back and rehash everything.
Is there a lot to rehash, do you think?
Well, I'm just looking at.
I mean, give me the cliff
I think,
notes.
I think we could get, I
Yeah.
can get fill them
you
in.
know, how
Plus,
about
if you
just
just
a
read the-
cliff note? Okay, go for it, Summer.
Sorry, what was that?
Oh,
I was gonna say, plus, if you've got the document that they prepared for us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got the PowerPoint from Lance.
You got a vision of what.
It's all right there.
it is.
Mhm.
Some subcommittees were formed.
Great.
It's great.
Okay,
Uh,
so are we
The next-
tabling?
I
Do you
think
have
this
a
is
mo-
Neil.
No, go ahead.
The
Everyone
next-
said
yeah.
no, so
The-
just move on.
The next
Okay,
step that involves people other than simply planning and zoning is getting a handle on what either call it a logo, call it
The
a
branding of, or
branding, call to action. What this process is going to look like to the public in a concise, exciting way.
so there was a subcommittee sort of formed with a few, of which I am one of the CEC and of the, plan nurse. We're going to be talking about logo, and we were shown some examples from like Snohomish, a few other places. And they all looked very tourism light
Mhm.
version of things. But basically a slogan or a log line of some type and call to action and a logo. So a few people have already started messaging some of us with any ideas or thoughts that they thought would be important to either consider during those meetings or that upcoming meeting, or very specific, somebody's already sending, how about this exact thing? So it can be either, or if you have any thoughts about what that should look like based on what other ones look like. But I think once again, this was like other meetings with Lisa and her group. Very clear what the ask was, very transparent, and this is kind of our time frame and where we're at and what the ask from us would be. So if you want to go through that document, you would also see that. And I think that there is time, if you have any specific thoughts about those, the priorities are pretty laid out pretty well as to what's coming up first, et cetera. And then it was kind of a brainstorming
Mhm.
process between the two groups. I came a little bit late, so maybe I'm not the best person for some of this, but
They're trying to make it very iterative. So. And I
Cool.
think doing a good job.
I enjoy our work with them. I think it's clear how we should be used in that way, and we can be helpful and informative, and I was here for it.
I think, from after having that get together with that, with the planning commission, I think I think it'd be pretty beneficial if we do the same with the Parks and Art.
Mhm.
You know, type of thing. And the reason why I say that is because we all work together. I mean, we really entwine with everybody. I'm talking the engagement
Mhm.
part of it.
Mhm.
And, it probably wouldn't hurt, once a quarter to have
Mhm.
a forum like that.
Joint
Just-
workshop?
Yeah, joint workshop, something, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Okay.
but I think it was very similar to it was just it was a brainstorming a little bit more, just like the last.
Right.
Similar to the last one that we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a little more nitty gritty, and now we're starting to kind of get action items on the table a little bit.
Cool.
Yeah, things that are more implementable and executable.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
Mhm. Okay. Anything else? I think that was good.
We will have you approve the minutes of that meeting after I get it back from
From their
the
side.
other person. It's a different situation, but we'll formalize this
Okay.
next meeting.
So, ideas for increase in CEC presence at community events. I do have an idea. And so I think it'd be nice, and I thought about this, especially at Barefoot in the Park, is trying to form like some type of a partnership on certain events with other, I guess, parties or commissions. I thought that was very successful at Barefoot in the Park and how we worked, for example, with Parks and Arts.
Well, we had Parks and Arts here and we had the library here. And that was sort of cool. Oh,
Yeah,
well, no, we
no.
didn't. Then we had
Yeah,
we
the
had Parks
city.
and Arts. We just had the library
Yeah.
question. That's right. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah, we had that, but we also, well, I mean, we had the Park and Arts at Barefoot and they were there, but then I think what helped was having Scope there.
Yeah, that was fun.
Because it was nice to say, after you get your pre-helmet, make sure and go down at the end of the table and they have a question for you. I think, and I was noticing that and I thought, if we could integrate with other community events, with other groups, I think we could increase our presence. It's just one idea.
So the thing that I wanted to blurt out, but I think even fits here, is I think it's happening organically. I mean, we didn't necessarily plan for that to happen, but it did.
Which one?
The
Plan.
being paired with Parks and Arts. at
No,
the table.
we
It
were
was
the last
set up,
couple
it
of
was set up
years.
that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure that it's another, my point is, I don't know that we need to have another action item or committee. I think that people are becoming more aware of us and we of them, and I kind of like the trajectory already.
Mhm.
And I don't find myself worrying about us being engaged with other groups. I think we're on a good path.
And that segue kind of leads into what I suggest, and that probably won't happen this year, probably next year, this time, in the spring of next year. Rocky Hills has got every Thursday They have the food
Mhm.
truck and the opening.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And, it'd be I guess they get some pretty good crowds there.
They
I
do,
don't
yeah,
live
depending on
there.
the food vendor, they
Yeah,
can-
and
backs up
yeah,
pretty
it could
quick.
be an opportunity for us to have
Mm.
our tent set up there
And
and,
that's what I mean, trying to.
but that
become
would be
part
us
of
on our
the
own, like, Bill
group.
was saying, that's instead of incorporating other commissions, this would be just us.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, we could do it that way too, but it's still with, it is us, but it's with another entity, and that's the wrong.
Well, of
you know.
course, yeah, there's another
Yeah.
event going on, of course,
Uh-huh.
yeah. So that's just a thought, because that's something that happened. Isn't there something up at Legacy? Isn't there, Bill?
Well,
Do they have something that goes on in the park or something?
they do, and I'm the worst person to ask.
Oh, okay.
We,
You don't engage with your people up there?
like I said, I'm,
It's more
in
interesting
that
in
regard,
the
I'm a really
legacy.
bad.
Cause I was just
Yeah.
looking at, I saw some stuff on Facebook.
So,
Legacy,
so twice a year, they have an event, and it really is geared for families, at the park, and they have everything from a bicycle parade to face painting to yard games and that kind of thing. It isn't, I'm not sure. If
It wouldn't be something for us, is what you're saying?
I just don't know how much time it would be worth.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
if you wanted to say, if you wanted to send me with some handbills to hand out or something, yeah. But it isn't very, I honestly, I'd have to ask to see how well attended it is because I
Okay.
don't even know.
Oh, okay.
And may-
It's just something I saw on Facebook and I was
Yeah.
just curious, the
Yeah,
other thing.
Hermit, but it makes me wonder, the fact that I don't even show out how many people really do. I'll check it out. I'll learn more and report back to us.
But like, so here would be another event, and I don't know, it's coming up, it's cops, cars and
Cruisers.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, excellent.
So
Yeah.
I don't know why we wouldn't try and either team up or just go in there ourselves with the event and put the tent up. I just, I mean, that would be another option for us.
Mhm.
Do we actually have to have the skills to put the tent up?
Yes, you should probably,
Yeah, you should have it,
just a
place
simple
for
little
us,
tent.
a place for us to, this is where we're at. Instead of
I'm gonna
putting
have
up
to
a
look
couple
at,
chairs and.
I'm gonna have to look at the job description again.
It's other duties as assigned.
Of course.
Just do it in an advisory capacity.
Yeah.
But the thing is, this, when it comes to putting up a tent, we can have the city put up a tent for us. We don't need,
And I think
those
that
are
that's
good
fine
ideas.
too.
Yeah. I think that the tent, I do think is somewhat important. It makes it feel a little bit more official and that
Yeah,
yes.
there's
we needed.
commission folks
we
in
need
some
a
way, shape or
tent.
form here and it opens the door to conversation pretty well.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I'd
I
agree.
don't
But-
know. When we do the soiree, we all figure out how to put up the little tents or the little hoods and not too complicated, but we
You
all
just
figure
trying
it
to make
out.
Me feel bad.
Yeah, I am, Bill.
All right.
No.
Well, we'll engage
No,
the
no, no.
community while in.
Well, I mean,
Putting up the
so,
tent.
so is that something
Yeah,
for this year that we would consider going to and being there a few hours? Cops, cars and cruisers. Is that something?
What's the
What's the
date of
date?
that?
And that's what I'm uncertain of right now.
It's off the top of my head, somewhere around September 16th.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I do know it is in September, maybe 14th.
Is that a Saturday?
Yeah,
Yeah, probably.
so
Could
we
be
know that
after.
because last year I was out there and the mayor, she said, let's just close there's not much happening. Let's close the city tent. And I did a little sign, gone to cops, cars and cruisers. Well, why not just have a tent out there this year?
Yeah, it's on the 14th, starts at 10.
Okay. So is that something that everybody would be interested in? and doing a shift or something. Just,
Okay, what are we gonna do in the tent?
well, do we
Good
have,
question.
do we have our surveys or anything going on at that time, or do we have things, I mean,
We'll have
I think anything still promoting, city budget engagement would still be going on. The
Okay.
library thing would be over.
Yeah, library be on, yeah,
Town hall things over,
Yeah.
yeah,
city budget.
that'd be it.
so maybe that's not enough then to go down there for.
Meadowwood.
In Meadowwood Technology,
Oh,
Yeah, over there,
yeah,
down the road from
but,
us.
but they get such a crowd down there. And if you had a particular campaign or initiative that we were trying to spotlight,
Yeah,
but maybe that's not enough if that's all, I mean, that's a good question. What
And
would we,
admittedly, that's starting to get the time of the year where the lull in activity starts to occur.
yeah, that's true, that's true.
Wow, did you know they have a group on Facebook for cops, cars and cruisers?
Yeah.
For the event?
Mhm.
Mhm.
Oh,
Okay, well, so,
join the group.
Never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good thought, but you know,
I don't know, I was just,
I
yeah,
just don't want to, be out there.
I don't either.
But
Yeah,
is
you
is
know.
it something that we can be more spontaneous about so that as we get closer to the date, say we even a week out, and we discover maybe that there is feedback from the town hall that we'd
Residential.
like to get information about. Can we do it quickly? I mean, do we have to plan it a long time in advance?
Yeah, yeah, at least a little bit of time because it's probably gonna happen in one more month. That is pretty close.
It's less than a week after your town hall,
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
so probably,
the week of.
okay, well, just an idea. Scratch.
Well, do any of the other, this Parks and Arts, does anyone, city have a presence there already that we could piggyback on in any way?
Just the
So in fact,
LLP.
Lisa,
LLPD.
Yeah, but I
That's
mean,
it.
nobody,
What's the attendance of this
it's,
said event?
it
I
was
mean,
pretty
is it
busy.
pretty big?
It's pretty big.
Yeah.
It's a car
Yeah.
show. It's a car
Okay.
show.
It's a nice, it's one of the nicer car shows here. I don't know, and maybe that's a good question. Can we piggyback?
I was just, if we're gonna do anything, that would be my vote is to just
I
jump on.
don't,
some
I,
other
in the
existing-
past, I haven't seen Parks and Art or the Planning Commission, no other commission out there, no.
Okay,
Yeah, it's just cops. Yeah. But they have the car show and then they award the prizes and then they have an actual cruise where they go state line cruise around. Yeah.
Invade Idaho.
thinking about how the mayor moved you a year ago, are there city things at Farmers Market that could be transported there for that day? Any information the city has up that could be set up there?
Well, not actually, see, I think that's a good point. I don't, the movies are all over
That's
with. We
true.
don't have
Right,
an
yeah.
initiative or campaign going on.
And
So.
everyone would come up and they say, when's Costco coming in? When's Costco-" That's the big thing that's happening
Costco
in the
and Top
city.
Golf.
Yeah,
Costco.
well, Topgolf is
Yeah.
already, we can already say, yeah, it's coming, but Costco, we can't. And, but that's the big, that's. the
But
big
you
thing
know,
right now.
I guess if this would be something to think about during there would, how far along are we going to be going on as we start to doing the campaign for the comprehensive plan and wanting feedback.
It's a possibility.
By September?
By
I don't know,
September,
it's worth asking about.
yeah.
So do you want me to ask Lisa about that? I can ask Lisa or is
I
that
could
it?
just ask her tomorrow.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, let
that's
David
on
ask
your to-do list then, David, ask Lisa. Because that would be a worthwhile initiative. To push for public outreach, really.
Yeah,
is this comp plan.
we can set it up so you don't necessarily need to make a commitment to it tonight because that event will be happening before your next meeting. But we can do some pursuits and find out, is there some good reasons to have this group there at a tent on September 14? And if that's the case, then I can contact you all and say, hey, who wants to show up? And
And also I think members of the planning commission should be out there
Yeah.
too.
If we do that, yeah.
If we do that, and that would, yes. Okay, so that would just be mine. That's my idea for that. Okay, we're done. F, 2025 projects calendar and 2025 budget. Aaron, you put together, it was a really nice Excel spreadsheet, by the way. I really like that.
Oh,
And
thank you.
so,
I don't remember.
oh.
One
And-
penny.
I sent something over to somebody.
Yeah, and I like, and
Good.
I like
Hope
that.
that's helpful.
And did anybody else get a chance? I mean, that was at the last meeting. And did that look acceptable to everybody?
Oh, yes.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay. Good.
Awesome.
Remember
Final.
fondly.
Sure.
No
Okay.
action is taken, is that correct?
Do we need any
No
action?
action needed, I don't
Okay.
think.
No.
I didn't, or I already gave you my feedback. There was just
Yeah.
we'll do a couple columns once we get, but
Well,
that's,
yeah, we just need to start filling it in. is
we
really
not,
what it boils
we
down
need to start filling it in.
Yeah.
That's what we need to start doing.
So if you send me content, I don't mind taking the time to dump it in.
Okay,
So if anybody has anything specific that they want to make sure is on that, I mean, just send it over and then I can just start assigning it a spot and then start building in some kind of placeholder
mhm,
pieces of content with it. So if you just send those over, then I can start
okay, because,
working on that. So
yeah.
whether it's Winter Glow or Barefoot in the Park or Farmers Market,
well,
the
the
planning
comp
commission,
plan,
the comp plan, I mean, whatever it is, at least we can start building some structure to it. So, and then maybe, the vision I had for that is kind of two things. One, it's a living document, so it's
Mhm.
going to continue to get updated and changed
I love it being a
every-
living document.
every, meeting. And then second is that can be kind of it can be an agenda, a kind of a rolling monthly agenda item
Yeah,
that we
it should
review.
be.
So every month we're reviewing that, we're talking about it, adding it, changing it, doing whatever else we need to. And then, I mean, in reality, that kind of almost takes over most of our agenda. Is just in reference to whatever's on that document. Goes over everything that we should be working on, are we working on, status updates on it, all that kind of stuff. So it makes hopefully the commission's process a little bit more structured and then can help hopefully with the city too, making sure that they can see that we do have some structure to what we're trying to do and know where, how to engage with them, and the same thing with council and the other commissions along the way.
I like that.
yeah.
Yeah. So whatever we have, that's on everybody's to-do list, then give it to
Yeah,
Aaron
just
so
dump
he
it
can-
over, dump it.
he
I'm
can start filling it in.
I'm back, so yeah, we'll just. dump
Yeah,
it.
Aaron's back.
Dump it.
Yay, Aaron's back. Okay, the draft of the 2024 annual report. So this needs to be submitted by the end of August. Anybody have any observations, comments?
Bill, you have a great picture in here.
Isn't it great?
Can't decide if I'm yelling at somebody or
I love it.
laughing.
Well,
I thought
David said, yeah, well, we always sort of have photos. And so David said, well, here's some photos. So I picked out everything except for myself.
Great choice.
I think this looks great, Robin. Thank you.
Okay, no corrections. So can we say that and consider this final?
Do we need a
And
motion?
do we need, should we just motion it out? This, or- Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the report as provided.
any second
Second.
in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. There's our
Did we have a
report.
vote?
Yeah.
Do we?
Let's take it out.
Yeah, we did.
Unanimous.
It went over swimming.
And I don't think there's any discussion needed. Perfect.
Actually, I do have a follow-up on that one. Just for mostly Robin's information, but I guess everybody else. If you don't necessarily need to do a formal in-person presentation of the report at a city council meeting, because I asked that question. You did that last year. I think it's a fine thing to do. You do not need to do it during August. You can do it during September after it's been submitted.
Okay,
So that option is out there. And sort of tied into that, Summers told me some time ago she'd like to do a routine update of CEC activities at some point. And if you wanted to do that for the next meeting, because you were involved with town hall and all that, and Bill is busy watching America's Got Talent, I believe, on Tuesday nights.
I heard he was in it this week.
So if you wanted to do like the semi-routine update this Tuesday, that option is there for you too.
Okay, great.
I think it's a great idea.
That way we may get CEC and back-to-back council meetings,
Okay,
Congratulations.
plus the town hall.
thank you. I'll be sure to just dump it into an email so you can put it in
Dump
a
it in.
spreadsheet for me.
Put it in.
Okay,
Cool.
any other upcoming opportunities? I think we have talked about some of those already, and that was do we have a tent for the cops, cars, cruisers event, and should we include that? Should we do the comprehensive plan, or could that be one thing we could talk about? And so Dave will check on that. Have we missed anything else?
No, I mean, this is kind of going back to our update, but I just hope that all of you who can come to the town hall event do come, because we're pretty excited about this, and I think this is one of those things, it's like, if we can get some action items like this, it'll really get the fire under us, and I'm excited, so I hope we do all we can to participate and tell people about it.
One thing we're going to be having each liaison with each group do, and I don't think Bill brought this up. We're going to have everybody do some kind of a display at their table. And we're going to let each group decide on what they want to have there, of course, your name. And any information you want to say about your group, including you mentioned the fact that we have vacancies.
Right.
So if anybody has any requests, or if anybody wants to volunteer to,
I think we got.
We've
this covered.
we've got it figured out,
Yeah.
pretty much, we're just gonna have a little display with a trifold and,
Song and dance.
yeah, pretty much a comedy routine.
There we go.
Excellent. I'm
Yeah,
gonna come and watch.
yeah, but I think for me, this is one of those, like, just, can we please tell as many people face to face as possible, and just see if those people show up and see what that looks like to us.
Because if it's on September 10th, you have really less than a
Less than
month.
month.
And this, I'm pushing it because it's before our next meeting.
Yep.
So,
I guess we could ask, you don't necessarily need to commit now, but does anybody want to be one of the two official people at that table?
We got that covered too.
I think
got
that's
that
just
covered?
us doing that. Because
Mhm.
we've been planning it since day one.
It's on a Tuesday though, isn't it?
How dare you?
Isn't that on a Tuesday?
It actually is.
I'll get
That's
somebody.
what
to cover.
DVRs are
Okay.
for, Bill.
I don't want to imply that I'm irreplaceable either there or here, but.
So one night only. Yeah.
Okay.
I think Simon will
Big enough
excuse you.
deal. I'll show.
I think Simon will excuse you.
Once you get one.
Just one.
Oh, man. Um,
Hey, so I have the next meeting on September the 18th, 2024, same time. Any issues?
Not yet.
And is there anything else for the good of the order?
Agenda items requested.
Oh, yes, requested items for agenda.
I'll put my chart on there so that we can at least, so if we can get some more stuff in there and then we can do a review of that. So just try and send me stuff as quickly as
Yeah,
you can.
everybody try and send
Make it look pretty.
so that he can populate
Would you want
Yeah.
that as a handout?
his really nice
Yeah, I'll-
spreadsheet.
well,
I know,
we'll do a
I'm a
handout
big
and then,
fan.
You know,
I
if there's
know.
last minute change.
I'm a
we
big
can
fan.
do it, But yeah, we can do a handout too. Yeah.
So,
We're just fangirling over your
I know.
spreadsheets over here.
Is there
Yeah, we have
anything
never-
from,
Yeah.
We'll do an update from the town hall
Yeah.
meeting.
Town hall update and anything from the planning comp review process or?
yeah.
Yeah, if there's a logo branding meeting.
I think next week, right?
Yeah.
Anything need to be continued from
Definitely.
above?
We're good.
Any subcommittees or things that have happened between then and now, we should just make sure is updated.
Okay. Anything else for the good of the order?
Yeah.
Okay, meeting is adjourned.
Awesome.
Well, we